Hello, I'm so super excited to bring you my devotion for this week. Now, before I read the passage of the scripture to you, have you ever been pressured by life circumstance that makes you feel like God has forgotten you? Like your prayers are just hitting the roof and going nowhere. Now, my scripture is taken from the book of Romans chapter 8 verse 37. The Bible says, yet in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loves us. If you read through the entire Romans chapter 8, you find out that God never promised that it's going to be a smooth sail. He never promised that the moment you get born again, your life will be void of trouble. But he did promise that when we go through these tough times, that he will be with us, it will make a way, he will strengthen us, and we will get to the other side victoriously. Now that should be a great consolation for you, so that whenever you are pressured by life circumstance, you remember that the one that is in you is able to bring you to the winning side. And that's what the devotion for this week is about. The truth is that when you are going through adversity, it is not a sign that God has forgotten you, even though sometimes the devil makes us feel like that, but it is a sign that God is maturing you, that life is a process. Through the process, you get to the other side mature. Remember David was pursued, David was rejected, he fought battles. That same David, but in that battle, the strength of God was revealed through him. Eventually, he became a king. But the question should be, how do I advance in this adversity? The first step that will help you to advance is that you need to maintain the right perspective. Now, if God is going to cause a change in your life, he will first of all adjust your perspective so that you align with his will and his purpose for your life. The Bible says in James chapter 1 verse 2, it says, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. My friend, when you go through tough time, you must remove your eyes from thinking that God has forgotten you to thinking that God is with me in this process. You must remove your eyes from thinking that this is going to break me to this is going to build me, because God is with you. The truth is that your perspective will determine your progress. Number two thing that you must have in mind is that you advance by staying rooted in God. If you want that God kind of victory, then you must stay close to him. The Bible says in John 15:5, he who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit. Now you must be in the place where you are abiding. Hard times will always tempt people to want to get away from God and seek alternatives for their problems, but you must stay rooted in God. Once you disconnect from God, you will not get that victory that you are seeking him for. So you must stay connected in prayer, in the word, in worship. Now these are not optional when you're going through adversity. In fact, they are your survival tools, so that when the devil comes pressing against you, you can lift your hands in worship. When the devil comes pressing against you, you can go into the scripture and search the promises of God for your life. Number three is you advance by taking responsible action. The Bible says in Proverbs 22:29, do you see a man who excels in his works? He will stand before kings. One thing you must know, my friend, is that faith is not passive. When you are going through hard time, or you are waiting for God to bring something to come to pass in your life, you must move. You must take little step. There has to be action. Even in tough times, you must be taking action towards the right direction, no matter how little. David didn't just sit down in the cave complaining He did it. He had men who seemed like they didn't have the skills that he needed, but he built this man, and he built a system out of this man that helped him to prepare for kingship. Adversity is not a time to stop. It is not a time to give up. It is not a time to retrieve. Rather, it is a time to sharpen up. It is a time to build. Number 4 is advance by surrounding yourself with the right people. My friend, if you're discouraged and you're putting discouraged people around you, you are really going to be super discouraged. First Chronicle 12:22 says, day after day, men came to help David until he had a great army like the army of God. You cannot advance alone. And when you are doing that, if you want to advance, you have to check the people around you. It's my family member, so you are hanging around somebody who is bringing you down. Or it's my childhood friend and you are hanging around somebody who is going nowhere. There has to be the right kind of people, because God sends strategic people to help you in difficult times. In difficult seasons, he sends people to help you. And if you put around yourself people who will not help you, you're going to be staying there for a long time. Also, you must be watchful for isolation. Some people, when they go through a hard time, they keep to themselves. They retreat. They don't want to talk to anybody because they believe that nobody understands them, or that other people are doing well and they are not. Isolation will weaken you, will weaken your faith, and it will weaken your resolve to advance. But divine alignment will strengthen you. And number 5, you advance by trusting God's process. My friend, everything in life is by process. Romans 8:28 says, all things work together for good to them that love God. Do you love God? If you do, then all things are working together for your good. Not everything that happens is good, but when things happen that do not align with the will and purpose of God for your life, God can use that situation to be good. Remember Joseph. Joseph was led to the prison. Now that was not God's plan, but God used the prison to lead him to the palace. Remember David's battle. David's battle may not be all of God's plan, but those battles led him to the throne. Ever it feels like a setback, know that that setback, God can turn it around for your setup if you do not give up. Once again, my friend, adversity is not a point to give up. It's not a point to feel abandoned. It's not a point to feel discouraged. It is a point where God is maturing you. Even if the devil meant it for evil, God can use that circumstance for your good. This week I pray for you that you will overcome.